எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கம். முதல்ல இன்றைக்கு பவள விழா கொண்டாடும் மாதவனுக்கு எனது சகல ஐஸ்வர்யங்களும் பெற்று நீடூழி வாழ வேண்டும் என்று வாழ்த்தி, எல்லோர் சார்பிலும் வாழ்த்தி இந்த கூட்டத்தை ஆரம்பிப்போம்.
மிக்க நன்றி வேலுப்பிள்ளை, மிக்க நன்றி.
My pleasure.
வாழ்த்துக்களுமா.
மிக்க நன்றி. Okay.
It's a milestone birthday. Yeah. Welcome everyone to our meeting. It is real pleasure to welcome you to today's Zoom meeting. Over the past months, we have had many enjoyable and thought-provoking sessions, and I am sure today's topic will be one of the most relevant to our daily lives. Our subject this time is mind control, a psychological perspective. In psychology, mind control is really about something much closer to home. How do we manage our own thoughts and emotions? Why do certain worries, fears, or habits keep repeating themselves? How do stress, trauma, and daily pressures influence the way we think and behave? And most importantly, what we can do to regain a healthy sense of control and balance in our lives. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by news, social media, work pressures, family responsibilities, and health concerns. It is very easy to feel mentally overloaded. Understanding how the mind works from the psychological perspective can help us recognize unhelpful thinking patterns, respond to stress more calmly, improve our relationships, and look after our own mental well-being, especially as we grow older. To guide us through this important topic, we are very fortunate to have our own classmate and friend Sarachandra as the presenter. Many of you already know him well. Professionally, currently, he is a practicing psychological counselor and holds a master's degree in psychology. He works directly with individuals facing emotional difficulties, stress, anxiety, and life challenges, helping them to understand their inner world and develop healthier ways of thinking and coping. Because of this background, he is able to combine academic knowledge with practical real-life experience. He sees in his daily work how powerful the mind can be, both in creating problems and in solving them. Without further ado, over to you, Sarachandra. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for joining me. I beg your pardon. I'm going to do the presentation in English, and I hope it's okay with all of you guys. And before I start, I want to do it's a small group. So it's going to be a kind of a discussion, and I want to start with a thought experiment. And I got a few questions. I guess nowadays most of us are using mobile phones, right?
Yes.
And most probably all of us are using smartphones, and probably in more than one or two WhatsApp groups. And if you meet all these criteria, you are using mobile phones or smartphones, and you are in more than one or two WhatsApp groups, I want you to hold your thumb and the first finger like this. I want to participate in this. Hold it in front of your face. Hold it like this. Make a circle like this in front of your face. Well, yeah. And can you do a circle around your face, just like this? Sarachandra, you do that and stop and touch your chin. And why are you guys touching your cheeks? I said chin. This is what it is, focus of attention. I think in 1960s, Albert Mehrabian, he did a research. We listened to only sorry about that. In 1960s, Albert Mehrabian, UCLA, that's University of California, Los Angeles, he did a research on this, and he has established you listen to only 7% of the words. The words I said was chin. And you listen to my tonality, 38%. And the whopping 55%, you kind of look at the body language. I did this, I said chin, and I touch my cheek. And although it's a very small sample, most of you guys did the cheek because the body language. This is focus of attention. Whatever you focus in life, you will end up there. It's and coming back to focus of attention, and it's if I say big five, if I say big five to accountants, probably they will say PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, EYs, and used to be Arthur Andersen. Or if I say big five to people who are interested in wildlife, animals, safari and things like that, they'll say the big five animals. Or if I say big five to psychologists, they will say they have an acronym for that, oceans. I think they call it personality traits. They group people into 5 different, broadly speaking, personalities. Some of you might know this. If you have gone for management training or something like that, probably somebody would have said that they have an acronym for that ocean. 5 major personalities. Its first one is O, that stands for openness. You are open to suggestions, you are free, you are open. C is conscientiousness. That's somebody gives me a job, I do it. I'm very kind of with it the job, and I do it. And some people do it, especially the big companies. They do this. And the third one is extrovert or introvert. E for extrovert. You know what it is. And A stands for agreeableness. So that's you are easygoing. And the last one is N. N is for neurotic. Either you are neurotic or stable. So companies do that and they assess this. It's only a guide. It's a tool. It's only a guide. But the thing is, on a certain day, every one of us, you, me, or anybody else, we can swing from one to the other depending on the circumstances. There is no hard and fast, and this, he is that, she is that. No. We can swing. The beauty of that the ocean, I said this, it's a continuum. It's not cut and right. You are here or you are there. You can move around that line all the time depending on the circumstances. And this another thing I want to mention is speaking languages in the sense schizophrenics. I deal with all kinds of people. And last time I did a presentation somewhere in the city. I was coming back. If you follow football, Velu might know this. Crystal Palace has won. It's a football club. It has won the football FA Cup after 150 years in England. After 150 years. The club has been there for 150 years. They won the FA Cup first time in the history after 150 years. And when I travel in Croydon, or Velu might, if he has traveled in the bus, he might have met this character. He must be in his late 30s, early 40s. He talks to himself. And if you listen to him, you can hear him. There are two people's conversation going. He is talking it, but you can easily identify that there are two people talking. And people who know him just leave him alone. He is harmless, but he talks to himself. That's all. And after my Zoom meeting, I was after the Palace win. I was coming home. I was walking down from the bus stop to my home, and we came face to face. And out of nowhere, I said, "Congratulations!" And he stopped him in his tracks, and he said, "Yes, we won, and Palace has done." And the next 7 or 8 minutes, we were talking. We were talking football, and he said his name is John Lewis, and he lives down my lane, and somewhere. And it's a normal conversation. All I did was I entered his world. Could have done it before, but I don't know why I did on that particular day. And because I entered his world, because for a schizophrenic, imagined snakes are real. And he can't differentiate the imagined snakes underneath his bed, and he wouldn't come get out of his bed because saying that there are snakes on the floor. He has imagined it, but for him, it's real. It's absolutely real. But easy way is make him to realize these are real snakes, these are rubber snakes, or these are your imagined snakes. Then it goes off. Actually, my mentor, I don't know whether any of you heard of him, Dr. Richard Bandler? Not Dr. Richard Bandler and Dr. John Grenier. I think that's the therapy I studied 25 years ago. It's called neuro-linguistic programming. Essentially, it's instead of focusing on the problems, they give cure. And essentially, it's for me, that's a communication tool. That's all it is, nothing else. Therapists don't cure it. Therapists, all I am doing is I don't cure anybody. I give them tools. They take the tools from me, and they go home, and if they practice, and they get cured. It's simple as that. I'm not a magician. I'm an amateur magician. That's a different thing. It's all I am doing is people are stuck. And why do people commit suicide? The reason is, my saying is, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary setback. Is there any one of us who didn't have a temporary setback? Of course, I had so many setbacks, but everything is temporary. You take a step back and think, 20 years ago, that was a big setback. Now you can laugh at it. It's temporary. Unfortunately, when a person is in a dark place, say depression is how can I put it? It's a mood change. The mood is changed because the biology in your brain changes. It's a chemical imbalance. And if we're coming to chemical imbalance, I think I'm going back to the original stories, 1966, Texas University in Austin. This guy called Charles Whitman. He was 24 years old, married. He went up the Texas University Tower. It is 3 stairs of a flight to the top. He has gone up there on an August morning. It was very sunny, very hot, and a suitcase full of guns, rifles and pistols and whatnot. He went up there, went up to the upper deck, and he killed the receptionist with a rifle butt. Then he started shooting the people, the tourists who were coming up the stairs. The first woman he shot and killed was a pregnant woman. When the others saw this, they went to help her, and he started shooting them as well. It went on. He was on a rampage. And on that day, 13 people were killed and 33 were injured. Then eventually, the Austin police force, 100% of the Austin police force. Is there anyone from America here? No, not yet. Austin is a small town, university town, and the entire police force was 3 people. And these 3 people, they came there, they deputized another normal person, and 4 of them went up there and killed Charles Whitman. He was 24 years. Then they went to his home, and they found there was a suicide note. And also they found, along with the suicide note, his wife was stabbed, and his mother-in-law was killed, shot dead. And there was a suicide note. And the suicide note, he said, lately I am having this overwhelming feeling of hurting somebody. I don't know why. I went to a doctor. I went to my doctor. He was having a chat with me for 2 hours. We had a long chat. And I told him this about my feelings and this my kind of aggressiveness, and I wanted to hurt somebody, and I wanted to control it, but I couldn't. So the doctor listened to him, and that was it. And he said, after that, I never heard anything from my doctor, but I had this feeling. And in case, if I kill somebody, if I am killed, please take my body and use it for research and see what's wrong with me. And they found there was on postmortem, they found a massive tumor in between amygdala and the frontal lobe, and that was causing the aggression. All I am saying is the biology can change your mood, and the mood swings. It's especially in depression, in a state of depression. And again, depression, before depression, that Charles Whitman, if he has survived, and if the case has gone to the courts, and if he were in the jury, without knowing the tumor, probably all of us would have said that, yeah, he killed 13 people, death sentence, no question about that. If the doctors came and said that there was a tumor that has caused this his behavior, and his biology has changed because there was a problem in his chemical balance in his brain. So now we are in a dilemma. Can we blame him, or can we blame the illness? It is called blameworthiness. I think because of neuroscience, and all my talk is based on neuroscience. Coming back to neuroscience, and neuroscience is it's very young, only 50 years old. We are still learning, we are still advancing, all sorts of things. Before so the blameworthiness, I think the neuroscientist who has written that, what he says is, because of the new advancement in neuroscience, we know that the blameworthiness has to be kind of looked at it closely. Another example I can give is Alex. I call him Alex. 40 years old. All of us are adults here, so I can speak freely. 40 years old Alex. And he has a wife and a stepdaughter. Stepdaughter was a preteen. And suddenly his wife noticed Alex was making inappropriate advances towards his stepdaughter. And she complained that to the police. So the police came and found that this guy has a all kind of obscene or children obscene things in his computer, in his whatever, and magazines. And they found he was charged, and on the child molesting case, he was not sent to the prison. He was sent to a rehabilitation center, and in the rehabilitation center, he started making inappropriate advances towards the staff and the inpatients as well. So they have decided to transfer him to a prison. I think that the night before he was supposed to have been transferred to the prison, he had this severe headache. And all this time he has been complaining about headache. And that particular night, he was in real agony. He went to the emergency room. And there the MRI scan was done, and they found a massive tumor, again, on the frontal lobe. So he underwent the surgery. They removed the tumor, and his life has become normal. He has become a normal person. But after 6 months of this surgery, his former behavior has started, it came back. So the wife, this time, she didn't take him to the police, she took him to the doctor. So they did a scan, and they found that when the surgery was done, they left a bit of a tumor. It was not completely removed. So they removed that, and he has become normal, and it's a normal person. The point I am making is biology can make people change physically, can change your mood. Talking about mood, when I say depression is I think the one is it's despair. That's not interested in anything, and everything is kind of negative. That's one kind of a mood change. The other one is anxiety. Anxiety is everything is doom, and a small thing you become alarmed, frightened. And the third one is sheer emptiness. You are empty. Everything is empty, everything is doom, everything is gloom, and no emotions. Absolutely emotionless. You might have seen people like that. I don't know. I have. And the fourth one is it affects men. There are a few exceptions as well. And that is the whole time, 24 hours a day, they are restless and angry. Angry with them, angry with the computer, angry with the person next to him, person unknown to them, angry. This is the dangerous thing because they don't know, they are not in control. None of these guys are not in control, but the first three categories, they are harmful to only themselves. The fourth one is they can be harmful to anybody and everybody. So talking about depression, because it's the thing is, you might have heard of this. I think I had a debate with this. I am going to use the term unconscious, but some people use it subconscious. I think unconscious, conscious division, it was initially the forefather that was Freud, Sigmund Freud. And before 1990, psychology was purely kind of theory and interpretation. There was no neuroscience involved at all. My head of psychology at my university, when I did my master's, she said, when she was learning, Freud was like God. Whatever Freud says, that was accepted, and they were interpreting dreams and analyzing whatever somebody says. It was all analytical, nothing but neuroscience. But Freud has definitely given the big thing for psychology. He is the first person who said there's an unconscious mind and the conscious mind. Conscious mind is only the tip of the iceberg, and everything else is going underneath that. For example, if I say it's when we say yes to a question, anything I say that all we have studied at article, right? And when I ask a questions like that, if the answer is yes, most of the time we are nodding it. We didn't learn to nod. It's an unconscious process, and we are breathing. And it's an unconscious process. We don't think about that. For that matter, we are walking. We don't think like that. You take the left leg first, right leg then, and you walk. No, we don't do that. All these are unconscious processes. And 90% of the things we do is done unconsciously. The consciousness comes into the frame of our mind. Only a pattern is broken. Say, for example, if I give you an example, you are walking on the road, you are just walking and you may be thinking something, you are just walking. You are not, you're okay, you can see the traffic coming and things like that, but you are walking. And suddenly something catches your eye. There's a man with a big clown costume and on clown costumes, and he was doing something, and it catches your eye. The reason for that is there was a pattern break. If something goes normally, you don't even notice it because the autopilot, everything happens on autopilot. It's because that's how we are programmed. And when the pattern is broken, then the conscious mind comes into the forefront because this is evolutionary throwback. That's a safeguard. When we were kind of roaming around in the savannah in Africa, we are walking and suddenly you hear some rustling noise in the bush and your pattern is broken and you become alert because it's a survival instinct. That could be a tiger or it could be a mouse. You don't know. But survival instinct makes you become alert. That's exactly what your brain does. It's a consciousness. We need the consciousness. Otherwise, people can walk on a cliff. They can fall off. It's a consciousness that stops you doing that. Or you can stop breathing, for that matter. It's a consciousness that keeps on going, but these are unconscious processes. And on my practice, and there are people with families. I do family therapy in the sense if someone sometime back came and said my wife, myself and we are having problem with my son. Yeah. So what's the problem? The problem is he doesn't speak to us. He doesn't do what we want, and things. That's why I asked him, "How old is he?" He's 32. He's your child. He's your kid, but he is 32. He's a man. He has his own life, own whatever he wants. He is doing it, and treat him like a man. So I said, before this was on a phone conversation with this person and his wife. And I said, I want to see you guys first. Then I'll have another session with your son. And the third wrap-up session would be all three of you. So whatever the relationship, and on psychological sense, for me, there are only three issues. Actually, it can come to only one. But broadly speaking, only there are three issues. It's the financial issues, or it's the relationship issues, or it's the health issues. It's like if you could imagine a kind of a circle like that, financial issues, health issues, and relationship issues, wealth, health, relationships. And one of these can influence the other two. Any problems anyone thinks they have, whether it is perceived or real, when I say perceived or real, most of the I can't remember who said that. I had so many problems in my life, but nothing really happened because all these were imagined. It's your neurology doesn't know the difference between imaginations and the reality. And the reality is, for talking about reality, we don't even see things. The brain interprets. You think we are seeing and everything is recorded like a video recorder. I don't think so. But I don't think so. The neuroscience says that no. Everything is, we have got 5 senses. All the senses receive the information. The eye receives the visual clues. We are hearing the sound. Then we are smelling. We are tasting, and we are feeling. All these 5 senses, these are sensory inputs. But it doesn't come out like that. When it goes inside, the brain interprets that electromagnetic signals. And it's through neurons, and neurons, billions of neurons connected with thousands of other neurons, and the thousands of neurons, the connectivity, it's in trillions of connections inside your brains. And we can't even imagine that. We can't imagine the universe. We can't imagine the connectivity inside the brain either. And these electromagnetic signals it is every event happened or memory happened, your environment, your education, your relationship, everything is in the memory because of the connectivities. These connectivities and the certain brain areas, the whole brain is inactive, but certain brain areas is more active on certain things, like the visual cortex is mainly for the seeing part of it. And talking about seeing, the visual eyes are the only thing that's related to the sun, because in the night we can't see it. So because we can't see it, this is why we dream. We dream because it's a protective mechanism for the visual area, visual cortex. If you don't dream, the other areas, it's a competitive, like the conquering other countries. The other regions of the brain, they are happy to conquer the unused areas. Like, so dream is a kind of a preventive mechanism. From the memories, it creates dream. So the other region think that this is active, so we can go there. If not, they will encroach it. That's why some of the blind people, they can't see it. By their other senses become very acute. Their hearing might become, it become very acute, and it become more sensitive. So it's more sensitive. They can guide their way through sound, like the bats. They can't see it, but they navigate their sonar systems like that. So this is why we dream. Before that, Freud was interpreting dreams and things like that. In 1990s, that's gone. Since then, neuroscience has taken over. So the psychology has become science only after late 1990s. Before the late 90s. Before that, it was interpretation and very theoretical. Now everything is based on neuroscience. And for me, the forefront of neuroscience is David Eagleman, Steven Pinker, and you might have David Eagleman has a podcast as well, and he's at Stanford University. And Velu said that so many things, that the answer to Velu's introduction is the brain. Our brain does it. Everything is biology. I'm talking about, when I say mind, I'm talking about the brain. mind controls. I'm talking about brain control. And it's I didn't take a sip of water, please. Is it useful or am I boring?
No, it is very useful, very wonderful.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So, because this is the first time I'm doing this on Zoom. Usually it's a presentation, I interact with people and I go there and I touch them and all those things. And there's how many of you have heard of a theory of mind? The theory of mind is it's kind of useful to us because before that I'll give you a simple example. If I say I want you guys to imagine and participate with me. Imagine a dog is running on 3 legs, backwards, and the color of the road is purple. And after running backwards, it exploded. My first sentence was, a dog is running. When I said a dog is running, what was the color of your dog? I bet it was not purple. Some of you might have thought of white, dark, black, or gray, or whatever it is. And I also said it was running. Most probably the dog was running forward until I said backwards. So you had to jolt and come back. And then I also said it was running on 3 legs. I bet none of you thought it was running on 3 legs. You must have thought of 4 legs. The reason I am saying is we don't listen. We just assume. This is a major problem for the relationships, the assumptions. I say something, and in a family situation, I say something, my son says something, my wife says something, our daughter says something, but we only half listen and we assume. The rest is assumed, like the dog running. The dog is running. We assume 4 legs. We assume it is white. We assume it was running forward. So the reason is brain is on our body weight. It's only 2% of the body weight is the brain, but it uses 20% of the energy. To save energy, our brain has designed to find shortcuts. That's why these assumptions are made, depending on your environment, where you grew up, your academical situations, and of course, part of your genetics as well, genes as well. So all these contribute, and it becomes you. It becomes you. The memories are you, your memories, your experience. That's what making you, and me, and everybody else. So, theory of mind. I said theory of mind. Theory of mind was it was done on 4 years old. The famous theory was called Salian theory. There was a psychologist with a little child, 4 years old child, and in front of the psychologist child, and there was a box, and there was a box was there, and there was a basket was here, a box, a basket, and Sally came from here with a doll and put it in the box here. Sally put the toy in the box and she walked away. Then Anne came from here and she went to the basket, opened the basket, took the toy and put it in the box, and Anne walked away. Then Sally walked in. Initially, Sally has put the toy in the box. Now the child was watching this, I think 4 to 5 years old child, and with a psychologist. The psychologist asked the child, where do you think Sally would be looking for the toy? And the child has seen and has taken the toy and put it in the basket there. If the child says, yeah, Sally would be, of course, she will be looking into the basket, because the child has seen it was putting into the basket. And in her mind, she thinks, because I know it is in the basket, so everybody else must know that it is in the basket. Take a step back and think how many times we communicate with people. And because I know, I assume, yeah, I know this, so he must know that. I know this is good, so everybody else must know this is good. Because I think I'm right, everybody else must agree with me because I know I am right. Especially nowadays in our groups, our associates, all of us are over 60s. And we are set in our way and kind of patterns of life. And we don't want to change it. And if there are 30 of us here, I think I am right, he thinks he is right, she thinks she is right. Every one of us think they are right. Family comes to me, 3 people, family of 4 people, and everybody thinks, father thinks he is right, mom thinks she is right, daughter thinks she is right, son thinks he is right. Who is right? There is no right or wrong. It's their opinion. It's their reality. It's their perception. Just take a step back and just listen to them. That's what I tell my clients. And I make them to listen to each of them, and until they finish it, they can't open their mouth. They have to listen it. And if you are interested in family therapy or relationship or something like that, the best family therapist ever was called Virginia Satir. She was the best. She died a few years back. She died, and there's a nice book called New People Making. If you're interested, you can see that. It's all about relationships. And she makes them to make the family to do some role plays. Ask the son to behave like the father. Ask the father to behave like the son, and like that. And she was relentless. Until they changed. They wouldn't let them go. And she was it's a nice, kind, nice lady, American lady. And so this is all the communication breakdown because we are not prepared to listen. We just assume, and we like to command or demand respect. It's not going to work like that. Just pause and listen, and it will be a completely different relationship. And lately, when I was in Sri Lanka, I went to Point Bitru. Point Bitru is the suicide town of Jaffna. My brother said that's more suicides are in Vadamarachi than anywhere else. And when I was there, somebody committed suicide in my village. It's a sleepy village. Nothing happens, and he committed suicide. And he was a bank clerk. And there was I think you guys might there's 1 week, a doctor in Mandihe and a nurse in the same hospital, they committed suicide. They had no relationship, nothing to do with each other. It's 2 independent cases. Mandihe it happened. I think I can't remember exactly when, within the past 3 years. And Vadamarachi, Point to magistrate courts, that has got the most incomplete files of divorce cases. The relation, one of the reasons is now the girls are working, so financially they are free. probably, I don't know, when I go to my village, all I am preaching is, for God's sake, don't get married to anybody in the village, because you guys are related. You guys are completely related. That's why you guys are having so many of these kind of handicapped children in this village, half deaf, or hard of hearing, or can't speak, and some autism, and all kinds of things, because they are married, cousin. There's one family, 5th generation got married to cousins, and as I said, there were a lot of health issues with the generation, and that's what I preached there. And coming back to the financial freedom, nowadays, even I think probably even now they propose and marry because of dowry and whatever it is. And after some time, so the first 1 year, 2 years, it's the marriage is new, they haven't met before. If it is a love marriage, that's a different case. If it is proposed, and the physical relationship, the physicality keeps them going for 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years, 2.5 years. And the third year, suddenly the lady or the man gets up. What the hell? Who is he? Who is in my bed? I don't even know him. There's no intellectual companionship. What is he doing, or what is she doing? Then it's end up in a divorce. And Badamaraji, Point Britain Magistrate Court has more pending files on divorce cases than anywhere in the island. My brother said he used to work with public service. And yeah. And Velu said, I will give some, this is, it's control. When I say control, I think it's coming from Stoicism. Probably the gurus are saying that, claiming it's they're saying or something like that. Control. There are events happen, people happen, or whatever happens. Say you're driving, somebody is cutting you off. The amygdala spurs off, and the immediate reaction is kind of getting angry. But just pause for a second and think, am I in control? The driver has cut you off and he's off, he's gone. But if you think that, if you ask that question, just pause for a second and ask, am I in control of that situation? No. Just leave it, forget it. If not, you will carry that. The whole of your day would be ruined, because you are not in control, but your mind is still keeping it. You get into an argument with somebody for no reason, because if you think that if you are in control, that's okay, you can control it. If not, don't do it. Just walk away. Walk away is power. Don't argue. That is power. You don't need to prove your point. Silence is real power. Be quiet. Be silent. That is power. Why are we doing meditations and yoga? And if you have pray. Why are we doing it? To calm ourselves. You calm ourselves. And one of the best things is, if you believe in the prayer, it's okay. Pray to whoever it is, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Or yoga, or meditation, or just sit there and breathe. Just breathe. Don't do anything. Just concentrate on your breath. Nothing else. Your mind will wander. It is very difficult to keep it quiet. It will wander. But that's the key thing. If it goes off, you bring it back. Bring it back and focus on your breathing. Focus on your breathing and bring it back. And you do that for, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes before bed, and that will help you sleep as well. You can sleep like a log. Do it for 15 minutes, and probably you have the smart apps, and they will have all these apps for mind, body, and yoga, and all those things. Listen to one of these things, or whatever that works for you. Do that on a regular basis, and exercise. That is a must. When I say exercise, I'm not asking you to go to gym and bulk up yourself or anything like that. No, just movement, just move around for at least 1 hour a day. Velu plays badminton. For his age, he plays really good. And yesterday, I think Velu played badminton, Velu and another guy. And the combined age of Velu and the other guy must be about 120 or 110. And the opposite side, they played two guys. Their combined age must be 40 or 42. Velu and the other guy has won. Because those guys were power. Velu and the other guy, it was a calm, quiet, and kind of a sheer technique and do the right things. The young guys were doing it, hit hard, and if it doesn't work, hit hard. It's not going to work. Just take a step back, relax, and use your brain. And calm yourself. And Canadians might heard of her. Have you heard of Amy Cuddy?
No, Sarath. No, I didn't hear.
She was a professor at Stanford. Then she ended up in Montreal. She has developed this. She has been doing this for the past 20 years. She calls it a power pose. What she says is your body can control your brain. Because in psychology, there's always a debate. Your mind is controlling your body, or your body is controlling your mind. Your brain is controlling your body, everything else, or the body is controlling everything else. And it's a debate. And what she says is your body can control your mind in the sense your behavior, your thoughts, and things like that. It can make you calm. What she says is when you do the power pose, you might have seen Wonder Woman, 1960s. No, that her pose is she stands like this. It's arms on the hips and straight. That's the Wonder Woman pose. Or if you are yoga, you can put your hand like this and stand on one leg or something like that. You can, or if you can do that, you stand on two legs and do this and look up and stand there for 2 minutes. Or if you have worked for a company, you might have seen the senior guys. I call it gorilla pose. All of us are seated. This guy is standing and delivering a speech and leaning on the desk like this and looking at us like that. That's a gorilla pose. All these are power poses. What it does is when you do this power pose for 2 minutes, and it drops your cortisol, that's a stress hormones, by 20%. And also your testosterone, it increases by 20%. That's in 2 minutes. You got a boost of 40% to your kind of, if I call it oomph. It's a 40% increase. And if you have grandchildren, most probably you have grandchildren, the next time the baby cries, put the baby on make the baby to look up the ceiling. The crying will stop immediately. You can't get stressed. None of my clients come into my room doing that and happy and things like that. I am depressed. No, they are coming like this. It's the body. You artificially make your body like that, like power pose. 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. It will boost you, and you can after this you can try it yourself. And I think on that note, I'm going to call it quits. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. And if I can ask, I will answer. Otherwise, I will guide you where you can find some answers.
Thank you, Sarath. It's a wonderful presentation. It's very useful, and we can't thank you enough for your presentation. Yeah, now all of you can unmute yourself. It is your time. You can ask a question. But there is a question in the chat box from Sivakumaran. His question is, what is the difference between unconscious and unawareness? Sarath, to you.
Right. Awareness comes into, I think we are talking about words here. Unawareness, unconscious is it is an automated process. I think in a way you can say that I am doing it without my. When I speak, I am doing this. I don't even know that I'm not aware that I'm doing this. It's an expression, and it's unconscious or unawareness. It's you can use it interchangeably because I had this big debate with one of the doctors, one of the group I was addressing. For him, unconscious means was under anesthesia and is unconscious. He is right. In that context, that's fine. But I was coming from a psychological perspective, unconscious or subconscious, unawareness or unconscious. It's to me, it depends on the situation. It's one and the same. But awareness or consciousness, you can say awareness and consciousness. It's the same. It's the English has two sources. One is Anglo-Saxon, and the other one is Germanic root, and the Latin as well. So it's a rich language, and nowadays they are borrowing languages from the colonies as well. IO is in the dictionary now. In the Oxford Dictionary, IO has been added. IO it's in the English dictionary, and there are other words from. It's a word. What I say doesn't. It's a meaning you give. I am saying something. If I say it's beautiful, what the hell is beautiful? What is beautiful for me is it's a completely different interpretation for you. You give the meaning. I just say beautiful. You give entirely your interpretation of beautiful. I can't give the interpretation of you. It's yours. So it's like that unawareness and unconscious. It's depending on the contents and the context and your background. You give the meaning. I don't give the meaning. You give the meaning. That's how. If we have been to a hypnosis session or something like that, forget hypnosis. If we have gone to a good speaker, I think it's if you listen to any of the I think probably I sincerely hope none of you are following Jerome Fernando in Sri Lanka. You know Jerome Fernando?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course. Heard of him.
Yeah. And he's a complete success because for his followers, whatever he says, it's kind of gospel. It's kind of gospel, and I don't want to say anything because it's kind of touching religion and things like that. So if there are Jerome Fernandez believers, it's okay. Good luck. And so what he says, and I went to an ashram in South India, and I went there as an observer. I went to Israel and I have gone to Jerusalem. I went there as an observer and with a group of people, and they were religious people. That's fine. It's okay. I have no problem with that. And when I whatever they say, it's generalized. It's generalized, and you give the meaning. If I say, Madhavan, I can see you have a important person in your life. Am I right? You had an important person in your life. Probably everyone who doesn't have an important person in their life. Everybody has. And I can see that in your life, you had a few difficulties, but you have overcome that successfully. We are 60 years old. Everybody has difficulties. We have overcome that. So, this is the pattern there. So, I am not giving the meaning. I am giving a word, but you are giving the meaning. That's why these people are kind of, oh no, And they're highly taken up because they think he is directly talking to him or her, because it's called in the kind of a psychological terms or hypnotic terms, it's called generalizations. You don't give anything kind of a direct, specific, no specific. It's very unspecific. And the master of that is a psychologist, a psychiatrist, hypnotherapist, Dr. MD, known as Milton Erickson. And he was the forefather of modern hypnosis. And people didn't believe him, he could hypnotize. And he was taken to a court. And he just talked. And he has hypnotized the whole courtroom. He was not doing anything, he was just talking. He was just talking because the way he was talking, he slowed down in the rhythm, the tonality has gone down. When the tonality goes down and something happens, and everybody feels, yes, this is great, we are in a good place. And it affects you. And it is inevitable. And the relaxation happens by itself. See, this is it. All I did was I just dropped my voice. And it makes you feel kind of, the people are there, they can manipulate. The sales people can manipulate that. They know that. And the other people, charlatans, they can manipulate you. So it's the brain does it. Because it's the brain does it because it's a lullaby. What is lullaby? There are no meanings, no words. You just make the tune, the baby goes to sleep. It's a soothing sound. Even if he or she doesn't know the language, a lullaby in any language will make the baby go to sleep because of the soothing tonality of the voice. Yeah, I digressed. I hope I made it a bit clear to Sivakumar.
Thank you. Any other question?
Yeah, I think I do have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Byron here. So thanks for the very detailed one. Sorry?
I know you are Byron.
Yeah. If others to everyone know that somewhere where the sound is coming from. So I read a book by Catherine Pittman. The title is Rewire Your Anxious Brain.
Yeah.
She explains about brain functions and all those type of things. Not that I understood very fully, but then she also gives very simple, correct steps to how to reorganize your thinking. I mean, she called it rewire your anxious brain. So it looks very simple and very methodical and reasonable. But my view is that, I mean, of course, my prejudiced view is that I have tried this type of thing with so many people when they get angry, this thing. What I find is it's very difficult to change people, or actually for them to rewire, as she calls it, to change the people's attitude or thinking pattern. Yeah, there's a thinking mechanism involved that doesn't appear to change very much, even if you tell them in a very. I've changed my way of thinking. They have friends, and there's a Greek architect who thinks completely nutty, but they don't change their pattern. But in your work, you say you give tools for them to change their pattern.
Yeah.
But how do you do that? How does it happen? I have never seen people changing their pattern of thinking.
The most difficult thing in a person's life is change. It's very difficult to change a person's views. And especially in an office situation, say you are the boss. You have 6 people reporting to you. And if you go and speak to them, just your language, in your language to 6 of them, I think you will find it very difficult. 1 or 2 might be okay with you. Others might resist. The reason is, this is what I started with. I go to speak their language. And our education systems, it's people, I started with that. 7% only listen to the words. 38% the way I say it. I can say it, I don't want to use the word, and if you are interested in is any word you can use it. The way I say it, it doesn't hurt you. If I say, is it? I'm resisting to use that word. It's Osho has used it. Osho, you know Osho.
Yes.
He said the most versatile word in English language is it's a 4-letter word, starting with F and ending with K.
Yeah.
That's the most versatile word, because I'm going to call it. I'm going to put an M in front of you and front of it, and I'm going to get muck. So you can say, "Get the muck out of here." I'm saying that to my friend. Or I can angrily say that, and it can mean so many things. It's the way you say it, and in the office situation, or even in a family situation. If I tell my daughter, "You do this," she'll say, "Yes, Dad." I know that she wouldn't do it. Then I will remind her, "Yes, yes, I'm going to do it." Then the third time I said, "Have you done it?" "Yes, yes, I'm going to do it." Fourth time I ask her, she will say that, "Yeah, I have done it." The same thing I asked my son, do this. And the next time I asked him, "Have you done that?" He will look at me and ask, "You already told me. Why are you asking me again? I have done it." So it's the same tactics. With both of them, it's not going to work. So if I know what gears them, what is ticking them, then you go to that world and speak to their language, and in that way, somebody will respond to email, somebody will respond only if you go in person, and somebody might respond to your phone call. If you bombard all of them with email, somebody might think, well, to them email is not necessary or whatever it is. It's in the bucket list, in the down of the bucket list. So figure out what works then. And the other thing is, I can't convince anybody because it's their thoughts. I respect them, but I can make them listen to me. Listen to me. Then it's because change has to happen. As I said, unconsciously it has to happen. Otherwise, alcoholic. I know alcohol is bad. If I'm an alcoholic, I know alcohol is bad. I want to give up. I can't give up because it's a conscious decision. But it's an unconscious habit that I need to have this. I need to have this. Unless the unconscious mind realizes, yeah, it is bad. So there's an Australian guy called, the name will come, he does that as well. He is very good. He is, must be in his 40s or 50s. It's a big bloke, Australian bloke, and he does that even on Zoom meetings, he make people to change immediately. And he called it advanced conversational hypnosis. There's no hypnosis at all. He just talks. He just talks. It's because change is the only constant in life. Everything else changes. Apart from that, the habits. The habits are very difficult to change. Very difficult to change because it's a habit. But the good thing is, because it's a habit, it is learned. You can change it as well. I will give you a simple example. My son, he is in his early 30s now. When he was must be about 3 years old, he was in the garden playing around. He was playing with earthworms. It was he was digging it up and putting in his hand, and he was looking at it and playing around with that. Mum was there as well. She saw this and screamed at him, and he dropped it. From then onwards, until 11 years old, he was scared of worms, spiders, insects, mosquitoes, bees. He was scared of everything. It took him only few seconds for him to become kind of a fear of insects. It's because he has associated that thing with his mom's screaming. So it completely changed him. And when I stumbled onto psychology only when he was 11 years old. And I did only one session, and he's okay. And the funny thing is, now he's a PhD guy now. He's an engineer, a mechanical engineer, now doing PhD in public service. And main research is on mosquitoes and bees. And that's what you say is change can happen, but it has to be unconscious. All I did was one session with him, kind of speak into his unconscious mind, and that's it. And teach him tools, and that's it. It's my therapy starts like the first session is kind of an exploring and what it does, and giving them kind of a background and getting information from them as well. And the second session is the actual therapy session. And after 2 sessions, I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them after 2 sessions. If I see them after 2 sessions, I think I am a failure. So I take responsibility on myself, and I give them tools, and they take them. And if somebody comes with a strong belief of whatever it is, Muhammad or Allah or Jesus or Sivaperuman or whoever it is, I give them, and they have something to focus on, and they will cure themselves. It's easy. It's easy, but it has to happen, and they have to do it. And it is difficult, but you have to speak their language. And there's a simple technique for that. Try this next time. When you speak to them, repeat what they say in your own words. Phrase your answer. If you talk to somebody, they give you an answer using I don't know, a few words like telephone and
Sarat. Have we lost Sarat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm back.
Thank you.
Can you see me now?
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
See the image anyway. So cool.
I didn't do anything.
Sarat,
Okay, you can hear me anyway.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
It's, this is called.
You say something and go to sleep. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is called the echo technique. When you speak to somebody, if you hear them using words, say I'm just throwing some, he's using a word, a pen, and intellectual, and phone company, and books or something like that. Use the same words and phrase your answer or phrase your question in their own words, and they will understand. They will try this and see. It's called echo technique, and there are some people, naturally they do it. They don't even know that they are using it. I got a nephew of mine in Norway. He hasn't done anything, psychology, anything like that. Every time you speak to him, he does that. Echoes back. Even if you don't know anything about psychology, if you try this on your children or relations or anybody else, that will work for you. They will listen to you. At least they will listen to you. It's called echo technique, and try that. Try that and see.
Sulosana, your question, please.
Yeah, நான் என்ன சொல்ல வந்தேன்னா 1994 என்னமோ நான் அங்கே தெல்லிப்பள்ளியில் வேலை செய்யக்குள்ள சைக்காட்ரி பேஷண்ட் உண்டு. இதே தான் என்னென்னா அந்த நாளையில ஆக்களை பிடிச்சு கொண்டே சுடுறது தானே. அப்படி இப்படி ஒரு ஆளை கொண்டே சுட்டுட்டாங்க. ஆனா அந்த ஆள் வந்து சைக்காட்ரி பேஷண்ட். அப்ப கொண்டே சுட்டுட்டாங்க. அப்ப பேருந்து அடுத்த நாள் கதை வந்துச்சு, ஐயோ அந்த பேஷண்ட்டை கொண்டே சுட்டுட்டாங்களே பாவம் தானேன்னு. பேருந்து போஸ்ட்மார்ட்டம் செய்தால் அது டியூமர். அப்ப பேருந்து அப்ப எங்களுக்கு நான் இதைத்தான் பேருந்து சொல்றது, இந்த ரோட்டில் சுட்டு சுட்டு போடக்குள்ள சொல்றது, மிஸ்பிஹேவ் பண்ணி அது அந்த மாதிரி இந்த மாதிரி சாட்டு என்ன ஆக்களுக்கு ஒரு குற்றத்தை சொல்லித்தானே கொண்டே போடுறது. அப்ப நான் நினைக்கிறேன்னா இப்படி எத்தனை பேரை கொண்டு இவங்க போட்டிருப்பாங்களா இது.
எனக்கு தெரியும், when I was growing up, ஊர்ல it's a sleepy village, வேலனோஸ், it's a sleepy village. அங்க வந்து mental patients, they were treated like animals. கட்டி போட்டு வச்சிருப்பாங்க, என்ன சங்கிலியில போட்டு கட்டி வச்சிருப்பாங்க.
என்ன அந்த என்னென்றால் வேற வழி இல்லத்தானே, பிறகுதானே இந்த டெக்னிக்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்தது. ஒன்றில் இன்ஜெக்ஷனை போடுவாங்க, இல்லாட்டி ஒரு செல் மாதிரி ஒரு ரூமுக்குள்ள போட்டு
அதுக்கு என்ன துளங் என்ன சொல்ல துளங்கில போடுறேன்னு சொல்லி கையன் காலை மனக்குள்ள போட்டு
அப்படி இல்லை, அப்படி இல்லை போட்டு விட்டால் அவ பேசாம நீ தெரிய கொள்ள வேண்டியதுதான். இது 2 ECT பிடிச்ச உடனே பேக் டு நார்மலா வந்துடுவிடும். அப்ப அதுதான் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட். ஆனா இப்ப என்னடான்னா அந்த ECT பிடி கொடுத்தாக்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் அதெல்லாம் இப்ப எங்க நியூசிலாண்டுல இங்கே அதெல்லாம் டோர்ச்சர் என்று சொல்லி பெரிய இதெல்லாம்
செய்ய மாட்டாங்க இப்ப.
அந்த நாளையில அதெல்லாம் செய்தது. மற்றது இன்னும் ஒன்று, நீங்க அந்த என்ன கோர்டிசோல் லெவலை குறைக்கிறதுக்கு இப்ப இங்க நான் இங்க டிவி ப்ரோக்ராம்ல பார்க்கக்குள்ள ஒரு சைக்காலஜிஸ்ட் தான் அந்த லேடி. அவ சொன்னா இன்ஹேல் பண்ணக்குள்ள 4க்கு கவுண்ட் பண்ண சொல்லி, எக்ஸேல் பண்ணக்குள்ள 6க்கு கவுண்ட் பண்ண சொல்லி, அப்படி அதாவது காமா இருந்து ஷார்ட் இன்ஹேலேஷன் அண்ட் லாங் எக்ஸலேஷன் செய்தால் கோர்டிசோல் லெவல் கூடும், குறையுமா?
அந்த யோகா
கூட இதுவும் சொன்னது. அப்ப நான் அப்பதான் யோசிச்சேன், நான் ஆர்ட் ஆஃப் லிவிங் ஃபாலோ பண்றேன் தானே. அப்ப அதுல வந்து நாங்கள் ஷார்ட் இன்ஹலேஷன் பேருந்து எக்ஸலேஷன் கூட அப்படித்தான் டெய்லி பிரீத் பண்றது, ஒரு 8 டைம்ஸ் பிரீத் பண்றது. அதால இப்ப நான் காமாயிட்டனோ தெரியாது, எனக்கு இப்ப காமா ஃபீல் பண்றேன். முந்தி என்ன உலகத்துக்கு காமா இருந்து கதைச்சு கொண்டிருக்கிறேன் இல்ல. அப்ப அது ஒரு இதோ உங்களுக்கும் அந்த இது தெரியுமோ, இந்த ஷார்ட் இன்ஹலேஷன் அண்ட் லாங்
பிகாஸ் நீங்க இன்ஹலேஷன் சொல்றீங்க, யோகா, மைண்ட்ஃபுல்னஸ், பிரீதிங்க்கு விம் ஹோம் பண்றது அந்த இது, அண்ட் ப்ரேயர். இது நீங்க என்ன மெடிடேஷன் என்ன செய்தீங்கன்னாலும் முக்கியமான காமன் ஃபேக்டர் இஸ் the breathing. Control your breathing, you control everything else, and that's the main thing. And the breathing, there are so many, they say that 4 counts of in breath and I think 7 counts of in breath and 8 counts of out breath. அந்த மாதிரி ஒன்று இருக்கு. விம் ஹோம் வந்து அவன் வந்து he will guide. He is known as the Iceman. He takes ice cold baths even during winter, and he half an hour breathing, in and out breathing, and he will guide you and you can follow him. And he has run in the deserts without water, and he has climbed up icy mountains with shorts and nothing else, no warm clothes. So what he says is, by doing that you can control your body, and you control your mind, and you control your body. So it's there are so many things. Whatever that works for you, there's no right or wrong. Whatever that works for you, that's fine. It's okay.
இந்த லேடி சொன்னது என்னன்னா 4க்கு இன்ஹேல் பண்ணி 6க்கு எக்ஸேல் பண்ண சொல்லி தான் சொன்னது.
Yeah, it's that's your lady, and there are other. I think Sadhguru says 7 and 8, count of 7 and out is 8, and others say that you 4 counts in, 4 counts in, and 7 counts, hold it and release it for another counts. But I can't remember the exact numbers. So it's a different variation there, but the thing is breathing. That's the main thing, and your focus of attention on something nice and easy, and if you can, think of some pleasant thoughts.
மற்றது நீங்கள் இந்த என்ன அந்த லிசனிங்கும் இந்த இதை பற்றி இந்த என்ன ஆக்கள் இந்த ஒப்சர்வேஷன் இதுகளை பற்றி சொன்னீங்க தான், அதால தான் இது கேட்குறேன். நான் இப்ப ஒரு இடத்துல நான் இப்ப எக்ஸாம்பிள சொல்றேன். நான் இந்த அன்னைக்கு ஏர்போர்ட் வெளியால வரக்குள்ள அதுல நத்திங் டு டிக்ளேர் ஒரு இடம் இருக்குந்தானே, ஒரு அந்த பாதையால போக சொல்லி, மற்றது சம்திங் டு டிக்ளேர். அப்ப நான் வாசிக்கிறேன் சம்திங் டு டிக்ளேர், ஆனா இந்த மைண்ட் அதை எடுக்குது நத்திங் டு டிக்ளேர். அதே அது
I don't know, because it's thing is if I give you a word,
it's something else, but
if I give you a word, English word without the vowels, your brain can still figure it out. Think of any word without vowels, and you figure even a paragraph without vowels. You write the Hebrew Hebrew has no vowels. Hebrew doesn't have vowels. It's only consonants. So a word under vowels, or even a paragraph without vowels, your brain will figure it out. For some reason, it's stuck on your mind. Nothing. So even if you look at it, something it was interpreting as a nothing. It's an interpretation, prediction. It's not real. Your brain can read that. This is exactly the reason. ஒரு ஆக்சிடென்ட் 4 விட்னஸ் பார்த்தாங்களால், independently if they take the witness statements, 4 different versions, because it's their interpretations and their experience, their past experience, their memories, that makes the picture, and that creates the story. So 4 different stories, same accident from 4 different people. So for some reason at that point your brain has decided on nothing. So something it looked like nothing or something else. I don't know.
இல்ல, எனக்கு உண்மையா நான் ஏன் அப்படி கேட்டுறேன்னு எனக்கே சிரிப்பா கிடக்கு. இப்ப நான் அவன் அந்த அதுல நின்று டிரெக்ட் பண்ணி கொண்டு இருந்தவனுக்கே நான் சொல்றேன்.
Actually, there's a guy called there's a Cardiff University professor called Dean Burnett. He has written a book. The title of the book is Idiot Brain. Idiot Brain. That's the title of the book, because he has given a lot of quotes like this. And how many of us has gone to the room? We were watching television. We are going to the bedroom or some study room. Then you ask yourself, why the hell I come here? But you have come there to take something. You forgot that. Like that, the brain makes it. We don't know why it happens, but it happens. It's
இல்ல, நான் இப்ப கேக்குறேன்னா வேற யாராவது இந்த மாதிரி எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் சொன்னவையா, இல்லாட்டி எனக்கு மட்டும்தான் வருதா?
It's a common thing. It's a common thing. It's a common thing. It's key மறக்கிறது. சில நேரம் key உங்களுக்கு முன்னால இருக்கும், you can't see it. You're looking for it's a negative hallucination. You can't see the key. It's on the dressing table, but you are looking everywhere. It's right in front of you.
அது என்ன சொன்னீங்க? ஹாலுசினேஷன். அது
நெகட்டிவ் ஹாலுசினேஷன்.
அது ஏஜிங்க்கு தான் வருமா, இல்லாட்டி
it can happen to anybody.
இல்ல, இப்ப நாங்கள் இப்ப இந்த பேட்ச்மேட்ஸோடய முந்தி கரைக்கக்குள்ளேயே நாங்கள் முதலே இப்படி ஏதாவது சாமான்களை தேடிக்கொண்டு போவோம், காண கிடைக்காது. பிறகு கொஞ்சத்தால பார்த்தா கிடைக்கும், இல்லாட்டி வேறு யாரும் கிடக்கும். அப்ப நான் இதை இந்த சிங்களீஸ் ஃப்ரெண்டோட கதைக்குள்ள அவை சிங்களத்துல அதுக்கு ஒரு சொல்லி சொல்றவையாம். அதாவது இந்த பிசாசு வந்து எடுத்து கொண்டு போயிட்டு கொண்டு வந்து வச்சதுண்டு. அப்படி அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு மீனிங்ல ஒரு சொல்லு சொன்னது. நான் எனக்கு இப்ப இந்த சொல்லு ஞாபகம் வருது இல்லை. ஆனா அப்படி ஒரு எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் சொல்றேன். அதாவது நாங்க தேடுவோம் கண்ணுக்கு முன்னால
it
இருக்கும்.
is negative hallucination. It happens to everybody. It happens to everybody.
எனக்கு இந்த போர்டை நான் மாறி வாசிச்சு தண்டினது எனக்கு ஒரு பெரிய இதா கிடந்தது.
Just leave it. Just get on. It's okay.
நான் இந்த ஜிபிட்ட போய் சொன்னேன், எனக்கு டிமென்ஷியா வந்துட்டு போல இருக்குது.
You mentioned dementia. There's on dementia. There's I think it's if I remember correctly, it's the frontal lobe. If the frontal lobe is affected, the dementia patients they were under some. I think it's.
அது ஃப்ரண்டல் லோப் இதன்றது இந்த பேர்கள் ஞாபகம் இல்ல.
மெமரி தான். மெமரியோட the medication they have taken, what it has done was it has made them to become addicts, gambling addicts. Yeah, the medication, it has got dopamine, and somehow it has made them to become addicts, gambling addicts. When I say gambling addicts, massively 200,000 deaths, 300,000 deaths over a period of few months, and they have never gone to gambling. So it's a medication that has done it. So they reduced the medication, then they became kind of normalized in a sense. So it's the fact of the matter is the chemical imbalance. The chemical imbalance, it can cause anything.
Thank you.
So if it is a chemical imbalance, if it is a chemical imbalance, then can we actually rectify this problem? This is what has been happening in psychiatry. I mean, they have been giving drugs. So treating as a chemical imbalance, then we should be able to treat this with another chemical to balance it out. Is it right?
Sorry, I didn't get that. Can you repeat that, please?
If you say the chemical imbalance is one of the reasons of the brain malfunctions or it doesn't work properly, then we should be able to balance it off with some other chemical input.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's the medication does. Medication is it's a chemical. So as I said, the dopamine, it's a dopamine deficiency.
என்ன ட்ரக்ஸுக்கு வாரது அப்படி மெடிசின்?
I think that's a very good question. Aspirin. The people with stent.
Aspirin எடுக்கிறீங்க, எனக்கு தேவைப்படையில்லை.
Exactly. Now every medication you have, you Google it, and you can have for it and against it. There are researchers for that and research for against it. So my advice is take that in moderation, and you'll be okay. If you take 80 milligrams statin, reduce it to 20 or something like that. And I don't know. There's a friend of mine. He was in Sri Lanka. He's a doctor, and in the lift, I think in Jaffna, in the lift, he was trying to pick up something. He temporarily he became kind of lost his balance, and he became unconscious, and then went to the doctor, and the reason was ramipril. It's a blood thinner. So, and he's the one who said I was on this any pill, it can make you to become dizzy.
Can you please repeat it when the last portion the words clear illa?
I think any medication ending with pill, ramipril, there are other pill as well, PRIL.
Oh.
And it gives you the giddiness. It's a blood thinner.
இல்ல எனலப்ரில் இருக்குது, ஆனா எனலப்ரில் இருக்கிறது ஹைப்பர் டென்ஷனுக்கு, அதுதான் நான் கேட்டேன். ஆஸ்பிரின் நீங்க சொன்னனுக்கு பிளட் தின்னர் தான், ஆனா இது அப்படி இல்ல.
The worst thing about aspirin is they give you aspirin to thin the blood, and also they give you lansoprazole to reduce the acidity. So I don't know. It's
right. And a special guest, Thaneswari Devi, ஏதாவது கேள்வியண்டா? கேள்வி இருக்கா? தேவி, நீங்கள் மியூட் பண்ணி இருக்கிறீங்க. அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு கலையுங்கோ.
நான் இப்போ 1 o'clock ஆச்சுது. நான் இனி சீரியஸ் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்காட்டிக்கு போயிடலாம்.
yeah. Pointing, it's okay. It's your choice. You leave whenever you want. It's okay.
வணக்கம், நான் சத்யமூர்த்தி சரச்சந்திரா.
Yeah.
ஒரு குயிக் கொஸ்டின் வந்து நீங்க சொன்னீங்க அது 15 minutes காலமே 15 minutes பின்னிடம் செய்ய சொல்லி என்ன பிரீதிங் சொன்னீங்களா யோகா சொன்னீங்களா? அந்த பாட்டு நான் மிஸ் பண்ணிட்டேன்.
I follow some. There are lots of it on YouTube, and experiment with few and find what is best for you. It's
right.
I think I am a badminton coach. நான் சொல்றது வந்து badminton is not it's not a it's a realization. You learn the basic and you make it your own. You can't find the truth. There's no truth in badminton. It's like that. You find 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 videos, YouTube videos for 15 minutes or 12 minutes, and figure out which is best for you, and take that. I can send you a few links if you want.
Okay, well, please send it to me. Thank you.
Yeah, I will do that. Yeah.
Okay. ஒரு அன்பழகனை நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் பார்க்குறது, அன்பழகனை கண்ட சந்தோஷம் நான் வைக்கிறேன்.
நான் சிதம்பரம் பிள்ளை. இங்கே ஒரு பெரிய பிரச்சனை இப்போ இங்கே வடமராட்சியில் டீனேஜர்ஸ் வந்து இந்த டிஜிட்டல் இந்த டிவைசஸுக்கு சரியான என்ஸ்லேவ்டாக போயிட்டினோம், அடிமையாக போயிட்டினோம். மற்றது கூட இந்த ஆன்லைன் கேம்பிளிங் செய்யணும். டீனேஜர்ஸ் இரவு பகலாக இருந்து விளையாடுறாங்க. வீட்டில் அவங்களுக்கு அதில் மாற்ற இல்லாமல் கிடக்கு. பெற்றார் சரியாக ஸ்ட்ரகிள் பண்ணினோம். ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸோட இந்த கேம்பிளிங், இந்த கேம்ஸ் விளையாடுறது, இந்த டிஜிட்டல் அடிக்ஷன் சரியா அவங்க ஒரு ட்ரக் அடிக்ட்ஸ் மாதிரி இருக்கிறாங்க.
நீங்க சொன்னது absolutely right. The gaming, the online, all these are designed to attract people and not attract people to make them become addicted. They are designed. It is designed to do that. So the designers have done their job, and these guys have time in their hand, phone in their hand, and probably money in their hand, not their earnings from a mom or somebody else or dad or somebody else is funding them, and they are doing it, and they are ruining their life. And as I said, it's an addiction. When it becomes an addiction, it's very difficult to come out of it, because you need help. You need help, and they are not going to ask for help. And somebody around them, if they can do it, but it's very difficult unless I'm a therapist and people come for, they want to give up smoking. If the father brings the son, I wouldn't see them. I said, if he wants to give up, let him come to me, then I can talk to him. You don't bring him. If he doesn't want to do it, he's not going to do it. So that's not going to work. It's it's a problem, but how to solve it? Only the people around him, around the children or the youngsters, they are the only people who can solve it. And it's an addiction. It's a curse. It's a curse.
அது ஒரு பெரிய பிரச்சனையா இருக்கு.
It is.
They are compelling. எவர்னாலும் பெற்றார் வந்து அந்த டேட்டா போடணும் அவங்களோட மொபைல் போனுக்கு.
I think the key thing is they have a lot of time in their hand. So they need to have some kind of passion in life, something to do. So what that passion is, I can't tell you, you can't tell you. Only the parents can. If they are kind of savvy, they can figure out what works for them, my child or children. then they can guide them in that line.
ஆனா இந்த sad situation இந்த பேரண்ட்ஸுக்கும் வந்து அவ்வளவு they are not enlightened, they don't know how to handle it.
That's where guys like you can step in, but I don't know.
அப்படி இருந்தும் கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. Even I know at least 3 youngsters who are involved, known to me very well. Well, ஒரு நாள் தான் he listens to me. மெட்டா கூட கதைக்கவே இல்லாமல் இருக்கு. They avoid, they don't want to talk. அவங்களும் இப்போ அதிலே ஒப்சஸ்டாக போனாங்க, அடிக்டடாக போனாங்க, விடுபடுறாங்களே இல்லை. இரவிரவா கேம்ஸ் விளையாடுறாங்க.
There's no difference between gambling addiction, online gambling addiction or gaming addiction and alcoholic. I can give you a practical example. My nephew, my sister's son, he was a brilliant English teacher, and he was in Busa camp and came back and things like that. But he was a drunk. 24 hours he was drunk, but he was a very good English teacher. And during the troubled time, he baby Udeshankar, and his name is Udeshankar. And during the troubled time, the army will find this guy in the ditch. கானுக்குள்ள இருப்பான், எடுத்து கொண்டு வந்து வீட்டில் விட்டுட்டு போவாங்க, because he was well respected. And respected in the sense because of his teaching. But he was drunk. Twice got married and divorced. And after the second divorce, there was a preacher. I don't know what kind of fold or something like that. He goes as a brother Brown, Tamilal. And he took on himself and stayed with him and somehow weaned him out of alcohol. And in the process, he has become a late-time preacher as well, my nephew. So that's okay, that's fine by me. அதுக்கு முன்ன வந்து சன்னதி கோயிலில் வந்து வெள்ளிக்கிழமையில நம்ம ஸ்பீச் எல்லாம் செய்து கொண்டிருப்பான். ஸோ
அவர் இப்போ மயிலியதனையில மேரி பண்ணி இருந்தவரோ, மயிலியதனை அங்கால பூரிக்காட்டுக்கு அங்கால கொண்டமனார் He passed away recently.
Passed away recently. My nephew.
Yeah. I know him, and I know the friend who was helping him also.
Yeah. So I don't know what that brother Brown did, but it worked. It worked for him.
அவரே எனக்கு தெரியும் நினைக்கிறேன். I know him. I think I know the same person. ஆனால் இங்கே ஒரு பெரிய பிரச்சனையாக இருக்குது என்னென்றால், ஐ எம் ஒர்க்கிங் வித் ஒன் யங்ஸ்டர். இவ்வளவெல்லாம் விளங்கப்படுத்தி கதைச்சாலும் அந்த தகப்பன் வந்து அவருக்கு சிம்பத்தட்டிக். அப்போ தகப்பன் காசு கொடுத்து
I think you got to speak to the parents first, then the children.
கஷ்டமா இருக்கு என்றால் தகப்பன் வந்து என்னோட கதைக்கிறக்க ஆயத்தம் இல்லை. தாய் இந்த பிரச்சனையை எனக்கு கொண்டு வந்து சொல்லி கவலைப்பட்டு கொண்டிருக்கிறா. தே லிவ் இன் தொண்டமன்னாறு. நான் இந்த வீட்டுக்கு போய் 2-3 தடவை விசிட் பண்ணி கதைச்சிருக்கிறேன். பட் என்னோட கதை பேர் எல்லாம் மோமெண்ட் வேர், பட் ஹி இஸ் ஃபைண்டிங் இட் வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட் டு கம் அவுட் ஆஃப் இட்.
Sivakumaran has second. Sorry.
இல்லை நான் வர முடியுது என்ற கதை. அந்த வைக்கிற பிரச்சனை என்னென்றால் அந்த கணக்கு ப்ரெஷர் ஃப்ரம் அதர்ஸ். என்னென்றால் இவை வந்து கேம்லிங் அதை நிப்பாட்ட பார்த்தாலும் அவங்க மற்றவங்க கால் பண்ணி ஜாயின் பண்ண சொல்லி கேட்டுக்கொண்டிருப்பாங்க. இந்த நேரம் இவை ட்ரபிள் பண்ணி இதே ஒரு குரூப்பாக இருந்து இந்த செய்கிறாங்க இந்த ஆன்லைன் இந்த கேமிங்.
You're right. It's that gaming is designed to get people hooked into it, become addicted.
Sivakumaran has second question. Sivakumaran, நீங்க கேட்க போறீங்களா அல்லது நான் வாசிக்கவா? Sivakumaran,
you read it, Velu.
Right, I will read it. I believed decisions are made by the rule of elimination and brain process the content accordingly, not assumed. Not assumed with a question mark.
Yeah, decision making is it's a nice way. It's in a interview situation. There are 10 candidates. You are in the interview board, and your decision is made not on the CV, not on the interview. The moment somebody walks in, your mind is already made up. Decisions are made and processed in the interview situation. The moment you see a person, you have already decided, yeah, I want him or I want her. And after that, everything that happens is you are satisfying your conscious mind that you have made the right decision. And this is what I said, I think it's in that idiot brain, Dean Burnett, he said about decisions. We think we have made that decision now. No, decision is not made now. It's your memories, your experience, everything is, it's a process. It's a mental process going on for so long, and the decision is made. You think that the decision is made in a split second? No, it's a process. But you think it's made consciously. You made the decision, and 90% of the time or 95% of the time is made unconsciously without your awareness.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, thank you. There's another question from Devanaihi. The question is, what foods or routines best support harmony between body and mind?
Yeah, I think we said that. I think you got to do some kind of a breathing exercise, whether it is meditation, prayer, or breathing exercise, yoga, mind, body, whatever it is. 15 minutes in the morning, ideally as you get up in the morning before anything else. Then before going to bed, if you can, that will help sleep as well. And exercise. Exercise is a must. When I say exercise, I'm talking about vigorous exercise, at least 1 hour of walking. You don't need to do the 1 hour in one stretch. You can do it 20 minutes of 3 times. You can do that. Or if you are passionate about some sports or something like that, you can do that. Or you can go to the gym if you like it, or some exercise classes if you like that. It's okay. But make sure that you move it. I think that smart watches, they have got they call it rings. One ring is for calorie burns, one ring is for time of duration of exercise, and another ring for standing. That is, every hour, at least for 1 or 2 minutes, you've got to stand up every hour. So if you are awake for 12 hours, say 6 o'clock in the morning to, I don't know, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the evening, every minute, every hour, you've got to stand up at least for 2 minutes. It's a movement. That's a ring, you have to close it as well. So that smartwatch will kind of control your life pattern as well. So the best routine is have a smartwatch and set it up for whatever it is, exercise for this much, and the standing up for 12 times or 40 times or whatever it is, and calorie burning is this. Then that's all you need. And movement, especially at our age, movement is very, very, very important. If you don't use it, you will lose it. The muscles, you got to keep the muscles active. So the best way to keep that active is movement.
The question actually, I'm asking regarding the food. What food, any kind of food that can make some difference? That is what some people say. Vegetarian food is the best, and so on. Regarding the food, I mean,
yeah, I think I'm not a nutritionist, but as a kind of an observer, all I am saying is, if you Google that, they say potato is good, and another person say potato is bad. Another one says the rice is good, another one says rice is carbohydrates is bad. Take everything in moderation. Take everything in moderation and listen to your body. If it agrees with you and if you're active and alert, and it's okay. And if not, cut it down and keep your weight under control. And the calories, whatever you eat, you burn it. And you should know how much calories I need to burn and how much calories intake. If the calories intake is more than the kind of outtake, then we are in trouble. We are going to put on weight and we are going to become lethargic. So just, and ideally what they say is half your plate should be protein and half is vegetables and a little bit of carbohydrate. I think probably us Asians, we do the other way around. Full plate is carbohydrate and a little bit of protein and a little bit of vegetables. And if you turn it around, just fill it with protein and vegetables and a little bit of a spoon or 2 spoonful of 2 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons of rice, and that would do. But we are not going to do it because we are addicted.
Sharath, I think the question might have been slightly different. I don't know. My question, I got a question again on this food thing. Have there been any research done on the impact of food on your mind? Whether mind has any reactions to certain types of food? Can your attitude change, or your character, or your way you think, and things change based on your food? Have there been any research done on that?
Yeah, I think before coming to research, why do you think we all love sweets? We all love sweets. The reason is, when we were roaming around in Africa as a kind of a primates or whatever it is, and the food was in short supply. And during the harvest season, the fruit season, whatever that's available, you load it, you eat it, the sweetness, you eat. So that hasn't gone yet. It is still there. In our genes, it is still there. You see food, you eat it because evolutionary, the genes still think that it's a survival. It's a survival. To survive, you need food. So when you see plenty of food, especially sweets, you eat it. That's how it is. On the research, and if you look for research, and there are tons of papers, and which one you want to kind of follow?
No, sorry. My question is not that. My question is, does the food affect your mind? Other way around, does the food have some impact? Say if you have certain, let's say for instance, if you have, you say there are some people, I think that's the question you also asked. That's what I figured out. Yes. I think let's say there's a person who has anger. Can that person control her anger or his anger by changing the food habits? Has the food any impact on the mind working mechanism or the things? That's what I think. That's the question.
Yeah, I can't answer you on the specific foods. I don't know. I haven't come across any specific food, but a specific substance, yes. But for alcohol, yes. Drugs, yes. Those are substance. But when it comes to food, my knowledge is limited. I don't know. I haven't come across any research on that.
Isn't it true? Sorry. Isn't it true that they say if you eat meat, you get certain habits, and when you eat vegetarian, you get? Is there any relevance to it? How the brain works and what type of food you eat?
நான் step it பண்ணட்டும் அந்த discussionல.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. See, now very recently I read something, and also I heard from other people. இப்போ என்னன்னு சொன்னால் இது டிபேட்டுக்காக நான் சொல்லல. I'm not talking about vegetarian food and eating meat, but what they say is, when you eat meat, you eat meat with the fear hormone. because when the animals are killed in slaughterhouse, they go into the slaughterhouse with lots of fear and lots of stress, and there is a hormone just before it's being killed is secreted into their body, and now we are eating that hormone, so we also get that kind of fear and anxiety in our health. I don't know இது சரியோ பிள்ளையோ எனக்கு தெரியாது. அதனுடைய நான் அந்த டிபேட்டுக்காகவோ
There is a belief. There is a belief. There is a belief.
இல்ல பிலீவோ
Not belief இல்ல actual.
இது என்ன சொல்லுங்க அப்பன் சிவகுமார், இது பிலீவ் அண்ட் இல்லை. இப்போ எனக்கு கன விஷயங்கள் தெரியாது சொல்றதுக்கு நான் ஐ ஜஸ்ட் ஹர்ட் ஃப்ரம் பீப்புள் because அது one of the thing they are talking about being vegetarian and not eating animal food is because when it being killed, they kill through fear, a lot of fear. They kill under a lot of stress. So this the hormone is secreted already in the meat. அதை நாங்கள் கன்சியூம் பண்ணக்குள்ள எங்களுக்கு அது வருதுன்னு சொல்லினோம். மற்றது இன்னொரு சேயிங் இருக்கு, யூ ஆர் வாட் யூ ஈட், யூ ஆர் ரைட். நீங்கள் என்னத்தை சாப்பிட்றீங்களோ அதுதான் நீங்கள்னு சொல்லி ஒரு சேயிங் இருக்குது. இதுகள் நான் இப்போ டிபேட்டுக்காக சொல்லல, பிகாஸ் த டாபிக் இஸ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட், பட் திஸ் what I heard. Because when you eat meat, உங்களுக்கு அந்த ஆக்சுவலி மச்சங்கள் சாப்பிடக்குள்ள உங்களுக்கு மிருக குணங்கள் வரும்னு சொல்லி நம்ம
I think it's I don't know. I haven't heard of any research that because you eat lion meat, your behavior becomes a lion or something like that. Or if you eat something else and you become like, or you eat dog meat and you will bark or whatever it is. I don't know. Yeah. If there's a research papers and quote the research papers, otherwise I don't know. I haven't come across anything like that.
Yeah, so that's a saying. And அவன் கேட்ட கேள்விக்கு இது ஒரு ஆன்சராக நாங்கள் சொல்லாம என்றால் I heard that enough and I didn't really go through any research to find out any research, but I heard this many times. அதான் உங்களோட ஷேர் பண்றது சொன்னேன்.
Yeah, in fact, that on the Japanese one, when they kill the fish, they have a special way just to make sure it doesn't get into that fear thing. So they say then that fish taste is different, and they take a lot of care about that as well.
இப்போ எங்களுக்கு விஷயம் தெரியாதபடியா சிலவோட நாங்கள் அக்செப்ட் பண்ண விடலாம். ஆனால் சிலவோட அந்த துறையில் நாங்கள் ஆராய்ச்சி பார்த்தால் சிலவோட கணக்கு இருக்குது. இப்போ முஸ்லீம்ஸ் சொல்லினோம் தானே, இப்போ என்ன சொல்லினோம் என்றால் அனிமலை கில் பண்ணுறது பாவம் இல்லை ஏனென்றால் when they kill, the way they kill is அந்த அனிமலுக்கு ஹார்ம் இல்லாமல் கில் பண்ணுறேன்னு சொல்லிடணும். அதான் அவையில் அந்த ஊதி போட்டு கில் பண்ணுறது இப்போ சொல்லிடணும் என்னென்னு சொன்னால் the way they ஹலால் ஃபுட்டில் அது நம்பர் ஒன் அதில் பாவம் இல்லைன்னு சொல்லிடணும். நம்பர் டூ அதுக்கும் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் இல்லாத வகையில் தான் அவங்க தி கில்ன்னு சொல்லிடணும். ஸோ தேர் இஸ் சம்திங் டு டூ வித் கில்லிங், த வே ஆஃப் கில்லிங் and eating meat. I mean, there's some relationship that can affect your body by eating this meat.
I think halal is similar to kosher.
My question is
Jewish.
சொல்லுங்க பயிர்.
The halal thing is something similar to the kosher of the Jewish. So that's the old ancient way of thinking in the Jewish community.
Yeah,
that's how they have that system. But it could be right. It could be right. We don't know. Okay, Sarat.
Yeah, if somebody says them, if they claim something, what kind of research they have done that? Ask for that. Ask for the paper and what's the sample. That would be my question. Yeah. Otherwise, I can say that you eat pencil and you live for 101 years. There's no supporting thing or anything like that. So
yes, Sarat, ஒரு விஷயம் சொல்றேன். அந்த research, I used to be a researcher. நான் அதுக்காக சொல்றேன். The research changes over the time.
All the time, absolutely.
Yeah. So if somebody asks to produce me a research finding, to me that is I won't accept that, because the research keep on changing, evolving. ஒரு 10 வருஷத்துக்கு முந்தி சொன்ன விஷயங்கள் இப்ப முழுக்க மாறிட்டுது. எஸ்பெஷலி இந்த ஹெல்த்தி டயட் அப்படி சொல்லக்குள்ள ஈட்டிங் வாட் இஸ் ஹெல்த்தி டயட்ன்றது இப்போ யாருக்குமே தெரியாத அளவுக்கு இருக்கு. ஏன்னா இன்றைக்கு இருக்கிற ரிசர்ச் இன்னொரு 10 வருஷத்துக்கு அப்புறம் மாறிடும் எல்லாம். என்ன
I use this phrase, whatever you do that in moderation. Don't listen to anybody, listen to your body. Listen to your body, and if it works for you, just okay, that's fine. Medication, If it works for you, that's fine. The food, it works for you, that's fine. Exercise, it works for you, that's fine. Find that what is works for you and listen to your body. Not even your doctor, listen to your body. And if it works for you, that's fine.
And also, Sarath, there should be a small elements of professional intervention also. But we cannot decide for ourselves. So but we have to also have a professional intervention, listen to some professionals, and then, of course, you decide for yourself.
I can't prescribe myself medication. The doctor has to prescribe. Then I can figure out whether it works for me or not. Then I can go and say, no, this is not for me. This is not working for me. I don't want 80 milligrams. Make it to 20 milligrams or something like that.
மற்றது சொல்லுங்க. மற்றது ஒரு கேள்வி என்ன தெரியும், கணக்கு நேரம் போய் கொண்டிருக்கு. ஒரு வெரி ஷார்ட் கொஸ்டின். இந்த ட்ரீமை பற்றி சொன்னீங்க தானே சார்? அது ஸோ வாட் இஸ் ஆக்சுவலி அ ட்ரீம்? ஏன் அந்த கேள்வி கேட்குறேன் என்றால், இப்போ ஆக்கள் சொல்லிடணும் இந்த ட்ரீம் வந்து பகலை நச்சு கொண்டிருந்தது அல்லது பல வருஷங்களுக்கு முந்தி நடந்த விஷயங்கள் சப்கான்ஷியஸ் மைண்டில் இருந்து அது ட்ரீமாக வருதுன்னு சொல்லிடணும். சில வேளை ட்ரீம் கண்டா பிறகு உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் வெரி அன்ரிலேட்டட், வெரி அன்ரிலேட்டட், டோட்டலி அன்ரிலேட்டட். ஒரு காலம் நடக்காது, ஒரு காலம் நான் நினைச்சு பார்க்காது, இதுல எல்லாம் நடக்குது. என்ன அப்ப இது எப்படி அந்த ட்ரீம்?
Because the dream happens, as I said, there are 5 senses. We have got 5 sensory inputs. The only visual input is the only one that goes away when it becomes, when the sun sets. It is night, dark. It can't see it. So there are no inputs coming from outside. So it has to make up something vivid inside, so that other regions of the sensory, like the hearing or the smell or the taste, they won't come and capture this region. To protect that, as you said, from the memories or the past experience, it makes up stories. Some stories would be absolutely bizarre. You don't even know why the hell you have dreamt that. And most of the time you can't remember. It's and if you run in dreams, you can't run in dreams. Your legs feel like lead. It's a way of protecting the region. That's why we dream. That's the main reason. And before 1990s, Sigmund Freud thought it's something else. I don't want to talk about that, but it's it is just to protect the area from invaders, if you like.
Right. Thank you very much. Next,
just one more thing on the same thing. Sorry, man. I know it's getting later now. And the dreams are pretty chonadu, but I mean, I just want to ask about this DMT. There was a DMT study. I mean, this psychedelic drug study. I think it was done by an American doctor, Rick Strassman or somebody. He actually conducted real, true. What happens is when you take the psychedelic drugs, I mean, we also know about the people who go on trips. So they see dreams as well. In fact, they think that they are seeing God. They see so many things happen. In fact, DMT is called spirit molecule. Now, so how did those dreams happen? Is that same thing, or is it something?
It's that is it, because it is drugs induced. Why do we take drugs? Why do we take alcohol? To change the state of your mind, change the state of your thinking, change the behavioral patterns, and especially change the state of thinking. That's why you take drugs. And you don't want to come out.
They say it can help in the schizophrenia. For schizophrenic people, it can help the DMT. Is that right?
Yeah, it's help in the sense that they will keep them kind of zombified. They are not going to use for anything else. But most of the time, they are kind of zombified, and if they are aggressive, they will become passive. But some other people, of course, it really helps. I think there are some schizophrenic people in some professions as well. They are good, but they are on the medication. They function normally. I can't remember the name. I recently read about that. And so the drugs are okay, but drugs are its own sample studies. It might not work for everybody. If most of the majority of the population, it will work. But yeah, I think one of the S3, that's selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It's a drug. It's a depression drug, and all it does is it gives the people kind of make them calm, and that's all. And it's a commonly used drug, I think, and it keeps them calm. But apart from that, and also it takes a lot of months to kind of become effective. Like you put a petrol in your car, it like 2 weeks for it to start the car to use the fuel. You need to wait for 2 weeks, and that's not going to help. Like that, this drug, you have to wait for months, not weeks, months before it have any impact on you as well. Maybe there are new drugs now, but this is what I found. So drugs is a state of your state of mind. Change the state of mind, and you don't want to come out of it because you are in the whatever you dream or whatever you want to be there. That's why they can't come out of it.
Thank you. Next, vote of thanks. இன்றைக்கு vote of thanks வந்து மைல்ஸ்டோன் பர்த்டே கொண்டாடுகிற பவளவிழா நாயகன் மாதவன் vote of thanks செய்வார்.
Yeah, thank you all for your birthday wishes to me. And I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to attend this session on a birthday day. Anyway, so Sarath, your talk today is very, very practical. You know what? We should have heard your talk when we were young and raising young families with young kids. Now most of us have grandkids now, because this talk would have been very useful if we would have heard this when we were young and raising young family and so on and so forth. Nevertheless, your talk was amazing, and really, and everybody, I would say that everybody liked your talk and enjoyed your talk, because the amount of discussions after your talk was very, very engaging. A lot of people were engaging and asking several questions, and I did have more questions, but I'm going to make it as personal because of the time. Your talk on suicidal issues, and somebody has a feeling of murdering other people, or relationship issues between husband, wife, and parents and children, were very useful and practical. And you also brought a game, a practical game, touching chin and cheek, to illustrate the focus of attention was amazing. And that is very practical. And also you connected all types of relationship issues to that we don't listen but assume. That is very, very very real, because most of the time the issue starts because we don't listen, but we assume. So that is amazing. And also you connected the suicidal issue is as a permanent solution for temporary problems. That is also perfectly true. So in nutshell, that we all are enjoyed, and looking at everybody's contributions and question and answers and discussions, and sitting for 3 hours and listening to you was very, very amazing. Thank you, Sarath, one more time, and we would like to hear you again in another event on different topic. We would like to hear from you. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madhavan. Thank you, everybody, especially the special guests. Also, I reserve my question. Maybe I can ask the question. People who want to leave can leave, but yeah. Sarath, what's the reason you after 65 you started to study psychology, and what made you to make that decision?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And throughout my career, I was an accountant and in a city and working for big companies. And when I retired, I wanted to actually. I did my MSc degree in psychology for others, not for me. The practice I do is that I have learned that nearly 25 years ago, I became a psychotherapist. I don't want to call myself psychotherapist, because if we break that psychotherapist, it becomes psycho the rapist. So my mentor said, don't use that word psychotherapist, call yourself psychologist. That's the course I did that 25, 30 years ago. The MSc, I did it for others because they want to see MSc psychologist. Yeah, that's great. Actually, when I went to do my master's, what made me to do was I wanted to be engaged after my retirement. I wanted to be engaged. And also because my background in psychology, and I was fascinated by that because psychology is something you can use from boardroom in a way. You can boardroom to bedroom, you can use psychology. There's no place where you cannot use psychology. You can always, in a sales situation, a meeting situation, or a family gathering, or wherever, whenever, you can use psychology. And shampoo bottles, you look at the shampoo bottle, they are marketing. What is this marketing? It is pure psychology. If you go to the supermarkets, at the eye level, there are items. Those guys are paid more to the supermarket to display those at the eye level because it catches your eye and you buy that. Why are you buying one brand of cornflakes every day, every time? There are 10 or 15 or 20 or 100 cereal breakfast, but you are buying only one. Washing liquid, there are many, you buy only one. There are toothpaste, there are many, but because we have been kind of brainwashed, you call it brainwashed, marketing, or psychological kind of inducement, whatever it is. It is pure psychology. Because of that, I decided to do psychology, to help people. That was the main thing, because my therapy, I'll help people on I call it Robin Hood model. If people, I see people only selective people, private clients, only through my WhatsApp groups or my friends. So if they don't come from my somebody don't recommend, I won't see them. And if they say that I can charge them, I'll charge them. Otherwise, it's free. So that's why it's restricted, private, and I'm happy. I'm happy people, and they are happy, and yeah, that's what it is. Mainly because I just like to be engaged with people, and kind of when I went to do my master's in the uni, the head of psychology asked me, "Why do you want to do psychology?" I said, after retirement, you have been in finance all this time, why do you want to do psychology? Then I said, all through my career, I was working with the big firms, especially American firms. I was dealing with psychotic people. And somebody has done a research. They call it a warrior gene. It's that particular gene is found in two kinds of people: CEOs of the companies and the serial killers. Both carry the same genes. They call it, I don't know the technical term, they call it warrior genes. The impact is same, controlling others, controlling events, controlling things. But because of the environment, CEO has ended up as CEO because of his family background, academical background, etc., etc. And the serial killer, because of his family background, social, economic level, he has ended up serial killer. But it's the same gene. So I told that to her, and she has become very friendly with that. And yeah, that's the story. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarath.
And Sarath, you're also an inspiration to all of us, because I've seen many people in my age, in our age, they always say that, oh, our time has gone. We are too old for these things. So they actually they put you down, because why do you want to do this now? Because what do we do? How many years we are going to live?
Yeah.
But you are an inspiration to all of us, and we have to take up something at this age, and we are not too late to do anything. So we have to take up something to keep us busy, and also
absolutely right.
Yeah, and keep our mind occupied, and also stimulate our brain. And that's the most important thing, is stimulate our brain. So, so people have taken up to yoga, meditation. I'm into meditation. I don't want to go into that detail, but very lately I started into meditation. And more than that, I associate with a group of people on a daily basis online. That is something that I find very valuable, because you are so we all tend to stay indoors and read books and watch TV and go to bed. I mean, you don't interact with people also. So you will have an opportunity to interact with other people. Now, Sarath, you are seeing patients, so you interact with so many people. I'm sure that you will not have any other ailment that people at our age used to get, because you are, and also you are associated with the younger people. That's another thing. You talk to younger people, you counsel the younger people, listen to their problems. So you are, engaging with on a daily basis with people, younger people. So I envy you. I mean, I think we should. I don't think we are late. No, I don't think we are late. We can take up something, and we can engage ourselves. Anyway, you are an inspiration, Sarah. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening to me, and
Madhavan.
thanks for the prizes as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And some of you, it's past midnight and things like that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And also, Sarath, it is very important these days after COVID. Quite a lot of kids who have been affected and who needs help, psychological help, and you can try to help them whenever you find them, because we come across few kids who have been struggling after COVID, because they lost because they used to do a pattern before their because they go to classroom and study, and then they started in COVID working away from home. Now they don't want to go back to school.
Yeah.
That sort of new issues have come up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids born with spectrum illnesses.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good area you have selected, and it's appropriate for the current period. And I wish you more success and enjoy solving problems. So who has these?
Thanks, Eva. I think on the helping issues, our Tamil community, some of them are okay, but most of them, they think it's kind of a taboo sort of things. They say that I have a kind of a mental block or mental issue. They think it's kind of it's an unparliamentary word sort of thing. No, we should not. I was in Canada. I was talking to somebody, and he was kind of a drug addict. But with me, I had a session with him, just one session because of the time thing. He was open to me, and he was fine. The only thing is he was crying out for somebody to speak to him. And people around home, they have no time for him. They think that we have done so much to him, we have done this to him, that to him. See what he has done. He hasn't done anything. For crying out loud, speak to him. They are not ready to do that. And now I hear that he is living off the streets in Canada. So it's accept it, then deal with it. And without accepting, you can't solve. The moment you accept something, 50% of the problem is solved. I think thanks again, and we'll conclude here. Okay, Madhavan, Siva,
Okay,
Mahir.
thank you.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, cheers. Bye.
Thank you, Venupulla.
Bye.
Thank you, Tanis. Yeah, yeah. Okay, shall we close
Yeah.
the meeting?
Okay,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.